What is the most difficult piano piece ever written? And why can almost no one truly master it? The first is hand span. Among elite pianists, the average span from thumb to little finger measures between 18 and 20 centimeters, just enough to cover a standard octave, which is about 18.5 centimeters on a modern keyboard. Only a small group of virtuosos can reach 22 to 24 centimeters, allowing them to play intervals of a tenth or more without strain. For pieces that require even larger stretches, pianists with smaller hands must use hand rotation techniques, which increase muscle load and risk of fatigue. Beyond span, technical difficulty is shaped by speed, how rapidly notes must be played in succession, and by endurance, the ability to sustain high-intensity passages over long stretches without loss of control. Coordination between hands adds another layer, especially in music that demands simultaneous, independent rhythms or complex polyrhythms. The frequency of jumps and leaps, sometimes spanning more than an octave in a single beat, tests both reach and precision. Dynamic control, the ability to shift from the softest pianissimo to the loudest fortissimo within moments, demands fine motor skill and acute listening. These axes, handspan, speed, endurance, coordination, leaps and dynamic control form a quantitative framework. They let us compare the technical requirements of different pieces, not just by counting notes, but by understanding the full range of physical and musical challenges a pianist faces. Difficulty in piano is not just speed, it is control. Liszt's La Campanella stands as a benchmark for speed, leaps and handspan. The right hand must vault across intervals up to a major ninth, 10 white keys, again and again, with little time to recover. At the composer's marked tempo of quarter note equals 144, the passage work reaches an average of 15.6 notes per second. Each leap tests not just the reach of the hand, but the accuracy of landing on the right key, hundreds of times in a row. Even for those with large hands, the repeated stretches and sudden jumps demand exacting muscle control and rapid recovery, pushing endurance to its limit. Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 3, especially the solo cadenza, offers a different kind of challenge. Here, the pianist faces 35 seconds of uninterrupted, high-density playing, with complex chords and rapid shifts between registers. The handspan required often exceeds a ninth, and the note density hovers around 13.8 notes per second. Unlike Liszt's crystalline leaps, Rachmaninoff's writing layers thick chords and sweeping arpeggios, demanding both power and lyrical control. The stamina needed to maintain clarity and expression through these passages is legendary among pianists. Chopin's etudes, such as Opus 10 No. 5, focus on finger agility and evenness. The black key etude, played at allegro assai, averages 12.2 notes per second in the right hand. Here, the challenge is relentless speed, combined with a light, singing tone. Every note must be even, every phrase shaped, all while the hand moves rapidly across the black keys alone. Endurance is measured not in brute force, but in the ability to sustain precision and control for the full length of the piece. Difficulty in piano is not just speed, it is control. These works set the standard for what is possible, providing a yardstick by which later, even more extreme pieces are measured. From the opening bars, the score launches into a barrage of rapid-fire octaves and wide leaps, pushing the body to its limits. At the composer's marked tempo, quarter note equals 184, Islamey sustains an average of 21 notes per second, higher than any Liszt etude or Rachmaninoff cadenza. For nearly 45 seconds, the pianist must maintain continuous 6 voice octaves with no rest, the hands vaulting across a span that often exceeds a twelfth. Each leap is not just a test of reach, but of split-second timing and pinpoint accuracy. The left hand, forced to stretch from C4 to A4 in rapid alternation, endures a torque load that can approach 1 Newton-meter at the metacarpophalangeal joint with each jump. Repeated hundreds of times, these movements accumulate a total muscular workload that surpasses the thresholds for safe repetitive motion identified in ergonomic studies. Islamey's density is not just about the number of notes. It is about the unbroken intensity, the way the score demands maximum output from every muscle group, from the wrist extensors to the deep flexors of the forearm. Microdynamic control is essential. Even as the hands race through fortissimo passages, the pianist must shape each phrase with subtle shifts in volume and articulation. A single missed leap or uncontrolled accent can derail the entire structure. The physiological toll is evident in stories of pianists who train for months just to build up the necessary stamina, often splitting practice into short, high-intensity blocks to avoid overuse injuries. In Islamey, the piano becomes less an instrument and more an adversary. The body's endurance, the hand's ability to absorb and redirect force, and the mind's focus on precision are all tested to their breaking point. The piece is a stress test, not only of speed or span, but of sustained physical control under relentless pressure. Prokofiev's Toccata in D minor, Opus 11, pushes rhythmic control to the edge of what is physically possible. Here, the pianist faces a relentless barrage of repeated notes, hammered out at a tempo of quarter note equals 166, sustaining an average of 17.5 notes per second. The technical challenge is not only speed, but the precise alignment of hands in complex polyrhythms. In measures 31 to 34, Prokofiev writes 4-3 cross rhythms, 4 notes in one hand against 3 in the other, demanding that the performer subdivide time with mathematical accuracy, even as the hands move at different speeds. The brain must track both rhythmic layers at once while the fingers execute each note with unwavering precision. Ligeti's etudes, especially the 5th and 7th, take coordination to a new level. These pieces are built from nested polyrhythms. In Etude No. 5, Fanfares, the opening bars layer 3-2 hemiolas between the hands, then pile on additional subdivisions as the piece unfolds. The effect is a shifting, almost mechanical pulse that seems to hover between meters. Ligeti's scores often require the hands to span a 15-semitone cluster greater than a major tenth, forcing the pianist to stretch both hands across the keyboard while maintaining independent rhythmic patterns. The average note density climbs to 14.9 notes per second, but the real challenge lies in the cognitive load. Each hand must operate as if in a separate time zone, with the mind constantly recalibrating the relationship between them. At this level, the limitation is not the human body. The demands of Prokofiev and Ligeti set the upper boundary for what a pianist's hands and mind can coordinate, preparing the ground for a deeper look at how the world's top performers strategize to survive this repertoire. Wang's hallmark is attack timing. High-speed analysis of her Prokofiev toccata shows fingerpad contact times consistently under 30 milliseconds. Her rapid, precise finger substitutions and subtle wrist adjustments let her sustain clarity at breakneck tempos, with each note shaped by micro-movements in hand position and touch. Lang Lang approaches the challenge differently, relying on arm weight technique to manage Rachmaninoff's stacked tenths, intervals that push the hand to its limits. By channeling the forearm's momentum, he distributes force evenly, reducing finger strain while maintaining dynamic shading. His method balances reach and relaxation, supporting power and expressive nuance in large concert spaces. Trifonov stands out for consistency at speed. Analyses of his Ligeti and Rachmaninoff performances reveal a single-digit millisecond standard deviation in tempo achieved through finger independence, subtle pedaling, and minimal motion. His articulation and voicing in dense textures show that technical control and interpretive depth are inseparable in the most demanding repertoire. Measured side by side, the data reveal a multidimensional contest. Islamey, at 21 notes per second, and a tempo where a quarter note equals 184, sets the ceiling for raw speed and note density. Liszt's La Campanella follows with leaps of a major ninth, demanding a handspan of 22 centimeters and averaging 15.6 notes per second. Rachmaninoff's Concerto No. 3 holds the record for sustained chordal force and endurance, with a note density of 13.8 per second and stretches that exceed a ninth. Prokofiev's toccata pushes rhythmic precision, requiring both hands to execute 4-3 cross rhythms at 166 beats per minute, while Ligeti's etudes demand layered polyrhythms and hand spreads up to a major tenth. Chopin's etudes, though lower in jump frequency, set the benchmark for finger agility and evenness at 12.2 notes per second. Among modern pianists, Yuja Wang's attack times fall below 30 milliseconds in high-speed passages, Lang Lang's arm-weight technique manages stacked tenths without loss of control, and Daniil Trifonov's tempo variance remains in the single-digit millisecond range. Each metric, speed, handspan, note density, polyrhythm complexity, and endurance finds its extreme in a different work or performer. Difficulty in piano is not just speed, it is control. At this level, the limitation is not the instrument, it is the human body. The most difficult piano piece is not defined by one title, it is defined by technical demand, physical limitation, and musical control. At the highest level, difficulty is not about playing the notes, it is about mastering them. What do you think defines true mastery? Share your thoughts below.